Alright, and we're back with Yakuza. As I was saying, Gartha, good fun. I like that the bond for Agartha is not absurdly challenging. It's like, play with half of your servants, could be from any class, so you can still field your full team for the most part. And like most people actually have that set up, whereas all casters means you need to actually have good casters, and maybe you didn't roll good casters, whereas same with like evil, like there's servants that aren't evil or good, like Summer Nero is like, or like Nero Bride, who's like Chaotic Bride. So you may not necessarily have good evil servants, but like you probably have female servants. They're like half the servants in the game. Slightly more than half, because some of the servants count as both. Right? So it's like you can definitely meet it, and it still gives you some play, while still providing a challenge, because it still locks you out of some things. Yeah, Kiara, Neocaster, Carmilla. Yeah, it's like you still get a pretty good team out of that. It's like, even if you favor female servants, you probably have a few male servants summoned, whereas if you're relatively new, you maybe only have one caster you can play around with, or you only have one or two evil servants that are actually usable. Or what was the other bond bonus? I'm trying to think. The third bond bonus is knights, which is just under half of your servants, but it really restricts you because you're missing like all your core supports, and there's only a couple servants that actually help. Like, your best support, if you do the Shimosa bond bonus, is Nero Bride, she is nowhere near the level of like Scotty, Merlin, whoever else you want to rock, right? Like the big four. She's good, but she definitely doesn't help you defensively, which means you're relying on like David to evade stuff. Your defensive support options are limited because you can't run MASH. It's like, remember, MASH is, technically MASH fits the criteria because she's female, but she doesn't get any bonus because it's bonus per servant, right? But like, in my mind, MASH kind of fits the Agartha theme. Mechanically, she doesn't matter, but she is female.
無事や。あいつは一発二発撃たれたとこで死ぬ玉やないな。ピンピンしとった。
そっか。よかった。
Agartha's a good start to that bond challenge thing. Like, on top of helping, if you're doing the bond bonus, on top of isn't that cool? I like that mechanic. I see why they ditched the true name mechanic, but it's actually kind of cool to find out who someone is over the course of the story, rather than just being straight up told which famous character they are. Like, they really went all in on hiding the names. Yeah, Lobo and Assassin. I mean, Archer was like the most out there reveal, right? You're like, he is who? Come again? Archer of Shinjuku was crazy reveal. Like, if you've just seen Archer of Shinjuku and his animations, you have no clue who he is. But he kind of fits it. He kind of fits it once you've played it. Lobo and Assassin were just like cool reveals that you're like, oh, that's handy who they were. They kind of... I don't actually know too much about either of those characters in real life, so their reveal is kind of just like, well, that's a thing. I had no clue who they were and wasn't really into them. Caster of the Nightless City. It gets a reveal. Berserker of El Dorado gets a reveal.
お前は
and
同じや
Assassin of the Nightless City. I think it's Assassin of the Nightless City. I might be wrong about that.
こんなん
The 2 Nightless City servants get revealed. Yeah, Shazeraid. Shazeraid's one of them. The other one is I don't know if you want me to tell you their names.
あそのなんや
The other one's Wuzetan
余計なこと言うたな
and Penthesile. Yeah.
あせや腹減ったんとちゃうかなあゆうべから何も食うとらんもんな
Yeah.
大丈夫
The Penth name reveals. Oh, Penth isn't the hardest to predict.
あほう大丈夫
Neither is Shazeraid. Wuzetan was an interesting guess.
元気ない時は食うに限るで
Yeah, you get to see all those in Agartha. There's only like one name revealed in Salem, I think. There might be more, but I can only remember
食うも
one.
ん買うてきたるなんか欲しいもんあるか
Yeah, Nightless Assassin. He's good. Nightless Assassin's an interesting support.
やっぱり腹減っとるんやないかわかったちょ待っとけええな
Bit of a psychopath. Horrendously evil, but yeah, an interesting servant. Yeah, squishy pseudo support servant. But she gives like that quick buff to people who aren't her, so she synergizes well with quick teams. He also has like 2 quick cards, I think. Looks like we're buying some sad chick takoyaki. Yeah, no, there's a lot of servants I wish weren't so squishy. It makes it very difficult to use them, especially when you compare them to servants who aren't squishy and are just all around better. You just go all in on the damage when she's out. The pawn shop? I don't need to go to a pawn shop. What's this? This is a fashion store. I don't need to go there. I don't want to fight that guy right now. I don't need the money. You're not worth my time. Carmilla's like one of the best 4-star assassins for dealing damage. Like that modifier against females makes her good against like 45% of enemies. It's so good. Like you can use that all the time. And then she's got like a solid star generation deck, even if her star gen isn't that great. Like her NP generation and stars are decent just because of her deck. Kind of good. Fun to use. She's got the Vampirism. Like, Vampirism's a handy ability. No matter how you shake it, being able to pull people off NP for a turn is a good skill. Yeah, Carmella's good. Her other ability is like a defense down? I know one of her other abilities is defense down. Yeah. Stealing charges, such a good ability. I mean, it's not like the most broken ability ever, but it's definitely not something you're like, oh, I don't like this. If only it was 100% drained, then you'd be over the moon. The fact that it sometimes fails kind of sucks, but hey, like a battery is a battery, and the fact that your battery can also steal an opponent's NP is like icing on the cake, because you don't necessarily have to use it the turn before the NP. You can use it early and then figure out what your game plan is for 3 turns later. Oh my god, this dialogue. Are you reading it? The statue guy's asking for help because he has to take a piss. We're here to distract him so we don't crush the boy's dreams of the guy actually being a living statue. Look, a UFO. Wait, they actually looked? If I said look at UFO, I wouldn't expect anyone to look. No, the statue. It's like a Weeping Angel statue. It moves whenever you're not looking at it. Have you seen Doctor Who? Those things are pretty terrifying. Let's dance. I can dance. Now, dancing is a bad idea because they're not looking at me, right? But I can dance. Ah, we just gotta announce no one's paying attention. Damn it. Yeah. Okay, I think Weeping Angels are mostly from the reboot, as I recall. So that'd be starting at Eccleston. I haven't seen like everything from old Doctor Who, but I've probably seen about like half of it. At random. I watched maybe 30 episodes when it was streaming on Twitch for one of their anniversaries. And I hung out with my parents a couple times, and they literally watched everything they watched everything end to end. I used to just hang out there while I was playing video games. So I'd like bring my laptop or whatever and watch them in the background. I'm not like the hugest Doctor Who fan, but it's not a bad show. Like even the old Doctor Who stuff is still pretty good. But by like that day's standards, I'm not. They're not completely mind-blowing now, but it's got some good pieces. Like it's decently entertaining to watch even today. Of all the things to voice act. Yeah, they do a good job with the budget there. It's like, oh man, it's even black and white. That stuff's crazy, man. Like the first couple seasons, oh my god. Some of that stuff you're just like, this is so hokey, but it's so hard to pull your eyes away from and be like, this show's dumb. You're like, you sit there and you're like, okay, that show was but I'll watch another one. It wasn't that bad. And you just go for another one. But they still look like they looked sort of convincing. That's the thing. Like the best thing is they keep the designs of the Daleks. Like you can see them evolve, but like 20 years later when they have decent like they actually have a decent budget, they're still doing like the weird whisk weapon array. I want to watch that again. I wonder if they'll do that. Yes, the Cybermen change radically. I actually think the Cybermen look better. They did not look that good originally. In fact, a lot of the enemies did, but like, whatever. On a budget, not really spending a lot of time. A lot of the time, it feels like they just put together something for those enemies. Or just had a person in costume. A lot of them are people in costumes. Really, really cheap costumes, like wool wigs. Not even a real, couldn't even go for a real wig. Is that like, I think it was like the episode with the swamp people. That's a couple seasons in. They literally have green paint, like painted green wigs, and painted green wool on their heads instead of wigs. I remember that episode that two-parter pretty clearly, or at least that part of it. Alright, now we got a distraction for our statue friend. Oh, he was not standing in time. The audio seems lower on this right now. I'm gonna tweak it a bit. Maybe it's just the battle audio? It felt quiet. Alright, whatever. The mixer says it looks alright. Yeah, we just beat a guy with a baseball bat we pulled out of our ass. Sounds good. The vanishing statue. Yeah, in later Doctor Who, they have weeping angels. I don't think I've seen an old Doctor Who episode with them, but they're basically statues that only move when you don't see it. No one sees them. So if like you're staring at them, they can't move, but when you blink while your eyes are closed, they can move like halfway across the room. And yeah, obviously murderous. Can basically teleport through walls and shit too. And if they get you, you usually just vanish, actually. You get like sent, they like drain the time out of you or some shit. It's a weird ass story. But they show up several times in the reboot as an entertaining and moderately terrifying enemies. They never say anything. It's like, what's that one SCP? The one that, the SCP that you obviously have to continuously have someone looking at and like alternate blinks to prevent it from moving and killing everyone in the room. Like that. They're a fun enemy. It's not so bad when there's one of them. When there's like 10 of them, you have a big problem because you can't really look at 10 of them at once. Get surrounded. Yeah, they redo some of the enemies, but they heavily rework them, and they're basically not the same thing. Like, a lot of the enemies in new Doctor Who, they are reused from the old one, but like, if someone didn't tell you that they were the same, or they didn't have the same name, you wouldn't know. Because they bring back those potato head guys, the guys in the regular people in armor who are like drugged up soldiers. They kind of bring them back as good guys. They remind me of potato people. I forget what they're called. They bring those guys as allies sometimes. I believe they were allies and enemies. They were enemies most of the time in Doctor Who that I remember. I think they had like a faction war in one of the older series. So like super militaristic guys, like actual alien people. They have like round, smooth helmets. I can't remember what they're called. Those guys show up as more or less their old selves. Yeah, they're mostly henchmen. They feel like they're henchmen most of the time. want to watch. Now I kind of want to watch Doctor Who. I haven't watched any of the recent stuff. I kind of stopped with not the current Doctor. The current Doctor I think is a woman. I think is the one before that, Capaldi. I stopped at like the start of Capaldi. I kind of just got tired of watching Doctor Who. Like it's a solid show, but it's not like my absolute favorite. So watching like 10 plus seasons of it is kind of draining. Like I could probably watch I probably have watched at least 10 seasons equivalent of Fate stuff, but those are all feel radically different. I feel like Doctor Who is, even with a new doctor, or a new sidekick, it's still the same plot. It's still a similar style of plot all the time. Like, oh, does he? That's cool. Who the heck is this? Telephone cards. This is a thing people collect? Alright. Oh man, we had a quest. It wasn't last time. I was playing 2 days ago. And there was a quest to escort Michael Jackson, protecting him from zombies. What a weird quest. Ouch. Can I grab in this stance? No, I can only whack people in the junk with a baseball bat. Alright. Do you think the new Suicide movie is gonna... I mean, I guess if there is a new Suicide movie, do you think it's gonna be any good? The last Suicide movie was pretty atrocious. Like, I feel like DC has a really bad track record with live action movies. That's not really a movie I'd be like super excited to see. Like their first Suicide movie was a complete mess. That was all over the place. Story, visuals, characters. Oh my god. James Gunn? Okay. He's a good director. He could maybe salvage that. I have some faith he could salvage that. What the heck is this? 'Cause he did James Gunn was the Guardians of the Galaxy guy, right? Like, he could go for the atmosphere they were really trying to push with the original Suicide Squad. Because they completely whiffed on it. But they were trying to do their own version of Guardians. Yeah, having someone who actually knows what they're doing when they try that's alright. I kind of want them to do, like, a more original soundtrack, though. It was kind of nice in, like, the first Guardians movie when they did that, and you were like, oh, cool, lots of 80s hits. But having seen, like, 5-6 movies that did We Play 80s Hits as our soundtrack, I'd kind of like some variety or original stuff that's actually good. Like, one of the nice things about anime is that, like, all the OPs and tons of the backing music is actually good by itself. And it's all new. Like, people actually make those, you know... Like, Aimer isn't just big in anime, she's just big in Japan, right? Same with, what's his face? Hyde, the singer from Larkin Soul. Like, they're actually just musicians, having their new single released with an anime or whatever, which gets you interested in both the artist and the anime. Whereas, like, you know, if I hear the Scorpions playing something, not only is it not new, but I could probably hear it elsewhere. And I'm like, the only exciting thing is, oh, I recognize this tune. Not, oh, this is a new tune I've never heard before. They did a really good job with the soundtrack. Like, remember, like, remember back in the early 2000s when people were doing, when the big thing on YouTube for gaming was like your kill vids where you'd have like people in Call of Duty playing out all their best kills, their quick scopes and all that crazy shit. Remember when that was popular and you'd put that to some music? It's kind of like, that was fun for a while, and then now they're doing it in the movie industry, and you're like, I've already gone through this with video games, so it gets old really fast. I kind of give the second Guardians a pass on that, but like another 2 movies, and it's kind of boring, and I've seen like 3 or 4 movies that did that for their soundtrack.
それでええんや。人間、腹に物を入れんと力が出ん。待っとけ。今食わしたるわ。
The humor works though. He did it. Like Gunn did a good job with the humor. He's done some pretty good stuff. Have you seen his? I believe it's on his YouTube channel. James Gunn has his PG porn series. If it's still up. I believe Sasha Grey also features in a couple of them. And they just do like porn. They do porn setups, but it's always it always has the twist of actually being normal. So there'll be like some, there'll be the awkward mechanic scene. Oh my god, those movies are so silly. Like you'll have this like mechanic set up, and every time the girl will suggest something, because I think Sasha Grey was the mechanic in that scene. He'll just be like, no, I actually need to like clean the pipes in your car or whatever. They'll play all sorts of innuendo and awkward phrasing from porn scenes and then play it completely straight. It's really funny. Man, I actually remember seeing both of the live-action Scooby-Doo movies when they were new. That brings back memories. Those movies were so mediocre. But I think I still had a good time watching them, just because I liked Scooby-Doo a lot more at the time. But I don't hate them. But I did see a review of the second one early, like 2 months ago. And I was like, oh wow, I can't believe it looked so bad. But I'd still watch it as like a joke. I feel today I could still watch one of those as a joke. They're not so bad that you can't stand to watch them. They're kind of at the point where you can watch them and make fun of them now because they're really cheesy. Yeah, he did a good job with Shaggy. Like his voice matches the character really well.
せやから見えへんのやろちゅうとるやろがまったく
分かってるよ。でもね、これオルゴールの曲が鳴るの。それがまた可愛くって癒されるんだ。
A music box crossed with an actual watch? That's cool.
だって時計が壊れてるから。
なんやねん。
でも捨てられないものってあると思わない？他人から見れば全く意味がないけど、自分にとってはなんだかすごく大切。
Yeah, I feel you. I got like a couple of completely broken things, including my own broken pocket watch.
時間もわからなくなって。
Still can't throw that thing yet. That's like the first piece of gaming memorabilia I got. A Warcraft 3 pocket watch.
でも私がまだ元気だった頃の証なの。それを捨てちゃったら私は本当に。
Gotcha.
お前。
でもまたオルゴールの音。
New quest. Fix Makoto's pocket watch. Screw getting information. Let's fix this pocket watch and hear a cool tune.
捨てられんかったら持っとりゃええ。持ったらきっといつかええことある。
いつかいいことか。
ん？どないした？
やっぱり違うよね。そんなものにこだわってるから いつまで経っても私には現実
Oh
が見え
no.
てないんだ。
That wasn't our
あ
plan.
りがとう。あなたの気持ちは嬉しいよ。感謝してる。
そうやない。お前が必要やと思うんやったら必要なんや。本当にそう思うんやって。
大丈夫。私、強くなる。強くならなきゃ。
Well, at least we got the pocket watch offer. Maybe it'll be a clue as to what the hell we're doing and what's going on. We're about as lost as Majima is here.
せや、まだ言うとらんかったけどな。リーノさんはなんややることがある言うとったわ。それが済んだらここに迎えに来させる。それまでもう少しの辛抱や。
どこか行くの？
Yeah, we're
そろ
probably
そろ
going.
仕事の時間なんや。
So one serving of takoyaki all day. I'd be starving, man.
佐川って名前に聞き覚えあるか？近江連合の極道や。
知らない。
そうか。佐川も誰かに頼まれただけかもしれんな。けど、なんでお前みたいなんが極道に狙われるんや。
あなたはその佐川って人に脅されてるの？
似たようなもんやな。けど俺はお前を殺すことで褒美をもらえることになっとった。登場会に戻れるっちゅうな。
登場会？
いや、お前は知らんでようで。
じゃあもしこのまま私を殺さずにいたら、あなたはそのヤクザに殺されるの？
大丈夫や。リーのおっさんがなんや考えがある言うとった。うまくいったらお前も俺ももう殺されんで済むっちゅう話や。
本当に？
お前んとこの店長やろ。信じたれや。ほな、仕事が終わったらまた来るで。ええな。
I hope our boss doesn't show up today. He might, though. I mean, he probably knows that the other Yakuza were hunting the girl. They might show up and be like, what the fuck are you doing? If they report that Majima's, yeah. Alright, we have to stop at a cabaret club. Okay, I feel like the audio on this is really low. I'm gonna change it. For some reason, it just feels really quiet. That feels better. I don't know if it's just me. Let's get in a fight. Old school bikers. Ouch. Don't do that. Yeah, this is not as anywhere near as damaging as the other stance. We can at least do grabs though, right? Yeah. The other one wouldn't let us do grabs. It's kind of annoying if you're trying to do guard breaks. Yeah, Thug has its upsides. I think this. I like the stance. I like their stance system. Gives you like a different moveset, and they all seem to, once you get used to them, have some good definition. Like it's not just one weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna help. No, no, no. I wanted to run past. Oh my god, another mugging we're gonna intervene in? Like, each of the stances seems to have a unique role that you can make use of. I really didn't like Beast stance on Kiryu when I started, but the, like, use item abilities are much better once you get used to them. Even if the movement speed penalties suck. All three of Majima's stances seem to have a solid use. Although I feel like the bat stance is just a little bit too strong. It's like really good. You want us to pay a tax if you buy something? Paying taxes. No, taxes are how you maintain the country. What the heck? These are some very serious libertarian type businessmen. As I recall, actual sales tax is a very, very new thing in Japan, actually. Wonder when they actually introduced it, if it was the 80s. Because like several of these quests have been like weird trivia about Japan, where you're like, oh, I didn't know that was something that was happening in Japan in the 80s. Okay, this is probably something that actually happened in Japan. Introduction of sales tax in the 80s. 3% sales tax. Can you imagine being pissed off at a 3% sales tax? I don't know where you live, but I'm pretty sure every single country has higher taxes than that, right? Yeah. Like 3%. I mean, I can imagine it being like revolutionary and really frustrating if you've been living there. You know, can you imagine before any sales tax was a thing? Being like, now it's a thing? Like, as I recall, I know in Canada they made one of the taxes basically to cover war debts from World War One. They're like, yeah, or to finance wars. Right, that's what several of the taxes. I think they also did that for some of the taxes in the States. Because it used to just be like you paid your land tax, right? You didn't used to pay sales tax? I mean, it makes sense to pay taxes, right? Although, feels like you always get nickel and dimed on your taxes, because it's like you pay income tax, you pay sales tax, you pay property tax, you pay this kind of tax, you pay that kind of tax. It's definitely frustrating when you start mathing out how much your taxes suck away of your wealth. It was kind of nice for a while where Steam didn't charge any tax if you were out of the country. Yeah, unless you're the president of the United States, then you don't pay any taxes to the US. Well, $750, and the rest goes to China. As you gotta pay the people you value the most. Oh, I didn't want to do nunchuck thingy. It's not as good for wave clearing. Golf swing's where it's at. Or I guess it's a baseball swing, but still. The big old swings. Yeah. I thought it was crazy but kind of predictable that Trump didn't pay any real amount of taxes. Like he paid $750 in like the last 4 years or whatever. I mean, I was like, he's not showing his income tax reports, so it's probably he didn't pay any. You know, you kind of expect that. I was not expecting him to have actually paid Chinese Chinese income tax though. That was like completely out there for me. To be fair, the bat is actually part of the stance. Most of the time you don't have a bat. I don't know what the fluff for that is. You're supposed to pick up random weapons and use them.
Yeah.
Like typically you're fighting most of these fights unarmed. It feels like it's really one-sided when you just pull out a bat and start beating people down. It makes more sense when you play Kiryu and it's like, oh no, that guy's got an iron pipe, and you're like, oh shit, all I have is my bare hands. Whereas here it's like, 4 guys taking you on, you have a bat. It feels kind of equal. You don't seem as like crazy strong. Like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, I have the weapon, I got all the power, kind of thing. This guy's got balls. A pipe worked out well for Lancelot, indeed, until the anti-magic lance came into play. Turns it into a regular pipe. Man, that was such a cool scene, where he just like runs around, starts actually beating Saber, and all he's using is like, it was a lamppost, wasn't it? It was a piece of a lamppost, because he like cut it with the 2 swords he threw at Gilgamesh, who was standing on the lamppost. I think that's what it was. That was a great scene. Like, wait, Zero does build up so well. Like, there's no action for like the first 4.5 episodes. None whatsoever. Like, most animes, there's gonna be something in the first 5 minutes, or there's like the first episode, because they gotta hook you in. In Zero, they're just like, yeah, this is the first Fate anime we've done as Ufotable, and there's gonna be no action for 4 episodes, but you're gonna watch it anyway. Yeah, also in terms of, it's so good. Like the ability for both Ufotable and that was Takeuchi or whatever his name is. He wrote Zero, I think, right? To like draw you into the world, even though there's literally no action in the show, in a fucking shonen for 4.5 episodes. Like, I showed it to one of my friends who's not a big anime watcher, and like, you know, we were, after every episode we had like a 5-minute talk, and they were like, yeah, I was expecting a fight and fucking nothing happened, but this was so good. Like, I don't know any of these characters, but they're like, I want to know more about all of them. I feel like I'm being given so much, and like the world is already deep 5 minutes in, even though there's no action. It's a really good it's like a monument to how good you can make character development and introduction. Very strong, even in an action-oriented series. Oh, yeah, that's also good. Yeah, well, the whole series is supposed to be a tragedy, so once you realize that, you're like, yeah, okay, no one's gonna get a happy ending. But yeah, he gets screwed over so hard. It's like, all he wants to do is correctly serve his lord, and then he gets matched with like the lord and lady who just basically want to screw each other over for victory. Like, how does this happen? They're both like willing to screw anyone over, succeed. They don't care about him. They don't care about they don't really care about each other. I mean, he cares about Sora, or I think it's Sora, right? Or is that Kiritsugu's friend?
何やて？
ええ。
Yeah, I can't remember if it's Kiritsugu's partner or whatever her name is, but the redhead totally screws over Jarmu. Yeah, all the characters are very strong. Even the ones who, like, you don't really have a strong backstory on, all the characters are really well developed. And that's what I like about it. They start from episode 1, building up every single one of their characters, and making them interesting. Like, it's really hard to make a diverse cast of characters that people actually like if they haven't been introduced to them before, and make them all sort of unique, especially when you're not like fleshing out some of them. But I think they did a really good job with that, because like a lot of the times you would just start with 1 or 2 characters and then build your roster, whereas Zero starts with every single one of its characters from the get-go and then fleshes them out, which is really hard to do. Like, if you want to try and balance that, that's brutal. Like, if you ever watch like a movie, you always see like they'll start with a couple characters and then they introduce characters in a linear fashion. Like, you know, you watch long running series, like even like something like Supernatural, you get introduced to Sam and Dean, and then you get introduced to everyone else. Or like, what's a good group thing? Like even like, I don't know, like the teen, like a classic series with teams like Teen Titans or something. Or like you'll be introduced to the characters as they're introduced episode by episode. Apocrypha tries to do a good job. They don't start as strong with characterization. I mean, it doesn't help that Cardboard is kind of bland, but they kind of immediately focus on like a couple people and kind of exclude a lot of people. Like you don't even know the names of half of the black or red team masters, right? They're basically instantly cut out of the picture 2 seconds in. The only one you know is the necromancer guy and Shiro.
Eh? Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of irritated me. Like, you know very little about a lot of the characters and their motivations. They kind of wanted to do a servant battle thing, but then they kind of got sidetracked and it was just kind of middling. I feel like they just needed a better main character and a better love interest, because Jean does not have a lot of good synergy with Sieg. Like, they don't play off each other particularly well. They're basically opposed to each other the whole time, and not in an exciting conflict-driven way, more in just like and now we're going to say, oh, we shouldn't do this thing that might be interesting, because that would be interesting, and instead we're being boring. Or you spend like that day at the farm, you're like, why not just pick one of the masters to follow as the protagonist? Yeah, like have one of the servants as the actual protagonist. That also works. Although, in theory, most of the servants are supposed to have finished their character arcs, because, you know, that's usually what you do when you're dead and you're a hero. Your story ends when your character arc finishes. Obviously, they developed Mordred and Artoria and several other servants, but yeah, Mordred has a great arc, and she, like, having her and, I can't remember that guy's name, the necromancer guy, has even more of a focus. Would have been better, because they actually had drive, motivation. They were both interesting characters. Like, I don't hate Jean, but she's also not, like, the most exciting character. Yeah, Mordred does really good. Mordred has a great arc. I actually don't think anyone else has an amazing arc. Maybe the brothers, like the brother and sister pair, do okay. Vlad has a motivation. You can understand him. I don't know if he's good main character material, but like, you don't hate him. You have an idea of what he's doing. Like, even Siegfried I liked Siegfried in the 2 minutes he was on screen before he died, more than I liked Sieg. I'm giving advice on taxation to a government person when I've literally never heard of taxation? Okay. Yeah. Spartacus, yeah, he's kind of completely wasted. They didn't really know what to do with him and kind of made him a one-note character with no motivation of anything. I mean, he's a berserker, and he's kind of the first berserker that speaks, right? Like, Lancelot's only line is Arthur. And he's really one note. They managed to make him cool, but he's really one note. Heracles literally doesn't say anything. Has basically no characterization. Still cool. And Spartacus is kind of like, he's sort of, he's more sane than both of them because he can speak, but he's still completely cuckoo and doesn't really have any development or real use. He kind of just gets thrown away right away. It's unfortunate. They could have done a lot more with him. Yeah, Avicabron, I don't know. Avicabron's okay. I don't actually hate him. He just doesn't get have too much going on for him. Like, he has a little bit of an arc, and he serves as like an obvious villain from like square one, where you're like, this guy's kind of sketch, this guy's kind of sketch. Is he gonna murder someone? You know, he's the reason Sieg's in danger because he's like, oh, we really need Sieg. And then he just says fuck it and kills his master and becomes the villain for an arc. It's not the best because he has like no background characterization. But it's also not the worst because he actually does things that are plot relevant. Like, he has a decent presence in the story, even though he's not necessarily on screen all the time. You still see him in the form of his golems that keep showing up. So you kind of get like indirect characterization through them because it's like, okay, he's a golemancer, he's summoning enemies, he's participating in the battle. If he sends a lot of golems, it means he cares about what's going on. Stuff like that. Which kind of works. It's a little bit better. They're almost better than the Dragon Tooth Warriors in that respect. Because he seems to be like directing the golems a little bit more, or having people direct the golems more than Medei sends Dragon Tooth Warriors around. Where she kind of just has an area they spawn in and does things with them. Yeah, Achilles and Karen are really good as well. I liked their short arc. Like, they didn't have anything too complicated. It's kind of like, you're the only one who can hurt me, so I'm gonna fight you. And he's like, I'm the only one who can fight him, so I'm gonna fight him. And then they just beat each other up. But hey, they had some good scenes there. I liked that the student teacher dynamic. You know, he wants to prove he's surpassed him. I liked that, you know, fist fight, final destination, no items, end fight. That was great. It's like one of the best fights in the series. You can see him as a centaur. It's one of his ascensions. I mean, I know why the government provides takes their taxes, is providing public services. Yeah. I can't tab out right now, but you should check his ascensions. I believe one of them he gets centaur form. A lot of times for ascensions, unless people want to go out of their way, they will actually just leave people at third ascension though. That, and I don't see many Karens in support lists. Like, if people want archers, they usually like throw up their Gilgamesh or whatever, because Karen's only a 4-star. And in terms of 4 stars, you'll see like a lot of archers before him. He's a good archer though. I'd actually like a Karen because he's good. He's a good esports servant. I really wish I had Poster Girl to do that with him though. That first skill of his is crazy good. Yeah, like, people usually equip 5 stars if they have them, and Gilgamesh is a super popular servant. As well as some of the other 5 stars. Because, like, even though he's decent, you're not going to see a lot of him because he's straight up worse in terms of stats. So unless someone really likes him, wants to grail him, or has nothing better, he's probably not in their support list. Like, I'm rocking Archuria right now. He's good. 5-star single target. Probably better than Karen if you want to kill bosses. Karen's like a support archer. And not a normal support archer, because he actually is just a damage support. He's like stars and color, right? You have John Archer? Oh man, John Archer's disgusting. I kind of wish I'd put outside quartz for her, because even though I don't like her aesthetic, mechanically she's absurdly strong and is only going to get better with Artoria. With Artoria Caster's release. Like, she does so much damage. She does so much damage. She has really good NP gain. Her skills are rock solid because she's got defensive still. That's also true. Although I think the whole Summer 3 event is good Dojin material. On top of the fact that you straight up write Dojins in it. The setting is also good for that. I mean, you do write an adult Dojin for one of those loops. Cause I know Blackbeard comments on it. I don't remember who else commented on that one, but it was always fun doing those loops. And fun doing those loops and finding out who reacts to the Dojin you decided to draw. Yeah. The only CE I didn't keep was the furry one, because I thought that one was straight up stupid. I burned that one. Didn't even use it as XP. Burned it. What is Sato-san? Second archive? That's fair. What is Sato-san? I'm curious. I'm gonna say Sato-san to see what he says.
Eh?
Tax everyone named Sato all over Japan. It's a real common last name. There's gotta be loads of them. Collecting taxes on a surname is a hard sell for the government. People would change their name to dodge it. Marriage prospects for this poor man would just be tagged. Who would ever marry Sato? Oh my god. I was not expecting that. I was expecting Sato-san to be some weird Japanese thing they didn't translate. Exactly. But it wasn't clear to me. I was like, Sato-san sounds like a person's name. Are they taxing like a company? Or is it like a product? Because the other two options were adult entertainment and tobacco. So I was thinking they were something along those lines that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm? Eh. Eh?
Assassin and Shizurid in Agartha. Good times. Gotta take down Shizurid before she can NP. She hits stupid AoE NPs causing probably. Is Shizurid NP or single target? I can't remember. They never use Shizurid. She's single target, isn't she? I can't remember. Anyway, so you're like a good chunk of the way through Agartha. 'Cause you only encounter Assassin when you're in the cross-dressing area, right? You're in that city and you like find an excuse to put Dion and Astolfo in women's clothes because it's super on the nose about being super sexist, and they're like, we can't look like guys. It has to be unambiguous. That's one of the things I didn't like about Agartha, is that it's super preachy. You're probably far enough in to understand that, but it's like, it's not even subtle. It's just so in your face, grinding it endlessly. This like sexism narrative and it gets so boring. It's like several of the characters are literally just one note. Herder, look at this sexism. It's like the entirety of Fergus is like, oh, I can't hit women, so I have to be completely useless in this entire event. Because he's like, oh, you should never hit a woman, so I'll just sit here and do nothing. And it's like, yeah, we get that. And then there's like all the women, and they all hate men for whatever reason. Like the Amazons just murder you or take you prisoner and murder you. The like pirates like take you prisoner and rape you, and then you get to be a slave and get murdered if you do anything even remotely out of line or on a whim in the Nightless City.
Yeah.
A good singular. You're right. Unfortunately, they're doing it on the Christmas banner, I guess. Saber Astolfo is cool. At least we get his costume, right? I don't know if you get it from there. I think is Astolfo's costume permanently available? Because I have his costume. It's not unlocked, but I have it, the costume. I just haven't spent the materials because I need the feathers. Hey, sometimes it takes a real man to be best girl. Yeah, you get it from the shop for like 1,000 mana prisms, right? At least we get his costume. And it's not like super hard to acquire. It's better than like being tied to an event or something stupid where you can't get it if you miss the event. Like certain emperors' costumes. Yeah, those are irritating. I got all the ones from Summer 3. I haven't actually used any of them. Although, to be fair, the only one I would actually consider using is probably the Gilgamesh one. I have Caster Gil. I still haven't used any of them, though. It's just nice to have them. The ones I want, the costumes I want that I would actually use, would be like Hawaiian shirt Ko. We need that. It's just so great. I wish it was out. But DW will only give that to us when this game dies. No, the only dress that changes anything mechanically is for MASH. Everyone else's is just visuals. And some of them, it doesn't even change anything other than like their sprite's appearance. Like the animations don't really change. Like I think John Alter has a costume, and it literally is just the same animation set with a different sprite as the base. Like basically just a different ascension. Yeah. I mean, they all show up as an ascension when you unlock them, right? Yeah, they don't actually do anything mechanically for you. It's just for fun. It's just for customization, appearance stuff. Like skins in most video games are these days. I think it would be kind of cool if they actually did start doing costume dresses that were mechanical changes. Like the same as another servant, but you don't have to reskill them. That would be kind of cool. I'm sure they'd find a way to make it ultra rare and super frustrating or limited, but in theory, it's a cool idea. Yeah, a new dress for friend. Well, Mordred's getting one. You just have to wait about a year. Oh, it's about a year and 3 months now. And Mordred will get a costume. She's getting her Apocrypha civilian clothes. Yeah. Yeah, you can look up Mordred's costume dress on, like, Grand Order fandom. It's her civilian clothes from Apocrypha. It's awesome. Yeah. So, don't miss the next Apocrypha event, because you need to get that costume dress. More plot stuff. I don't want to play Michelle. What else is a good costume they should do? Yeah, Hawaiian Kid is still my favorite. I wish they'd released that. Costume Uhalain has in Hollow Ataraxia and Carnival Phantasm. My next favorites would probably be like Saber Alter's costume. Like, I like the dresses they wear in Shinjuku. Those would be cool costumes. Saber Alter and Jean Alter's Shinjuku dresses. Those would be cool costumes, right? I don't even have either of those, and I'd like both of them as a costume. They have like Jean's regular clothes from Shinjuku, but I don't think I have her actual like ballroom dress.
この店はキャバレーか？
いえ、うちはキャバクラになります。
キャバクラか。ちょうどええわ。まだ遊んだことあらへんのや。
でしたらこの機会にぜひ。楽しいですよ、キャバクラ。
わかった。案内頼むわ。その代わりちゃんとナンバーワンの子つけてくれや。
もちろんです。さあどうぞこちらに。
I think Archer Gill has a costume. I think he actually gets a costume. Doesn't he? I thought he got a costume similar in style to Merlin's. Or am I thinking of Caster Gill? I thought Archer Gilgamesh actually gets a costume at some point. Wish I could check that right now.
お客様、お待たせしました。
I'm just gonna pull out my phone instead of alt tabbing.
当店ナンバーワン女ゆきちゃんです。
どうも。
Yeah,
ゆきです。よろしくお願いします。
おう、よろしくな。
Nothing for a regular guy?
それでは乾杯しましょうか。乾杯。
Mission accomplished. No longer have to refer to them as their class and where they're from. Especially when you don't know where they're from. You're like, where's the Nightless City? Who knows? Feels good to get that unlock though, because you know you're gonna remember that unlock for the rest of the time you have the account, because it's always gonna be there. You're always gonna see Wu Zetian. Yeah, it's kind of weird to see Avenger of Shinjuku and be like, what's Shinjuku?
すみません。私こんなんで。
いや別にええけど、でもほんまにあんたナンバーワンなんか？
ええ、一応。ただこの店に在籍してる女の子、私を含めて3人しかいないんですけどね。
3人？ちょっと少なすぎやろ。道理で寂れてるわけやな。
はい。 ちょっと前まではそれなりに繁盛してたみたいなんですけど、5スターが現れてからはずっとこんな感じで。
Oh, he really doesn't have a
Five
costume. That's
star.
so weird.
なんやそれ。
I must have confused him.
蒼天堀5スター、蒼天堀のキャバクラを牛耳っている人気キャバクラ店5店舗のオーナーたちの総称です。彼らが蒼天堀に出店してから
I really
こ
thought
の辺り
Rico
にたくさん
Gigan
あった
should
キャ
have
バクラ
a
は
costume.
どんどん閉店に追いやられてしまって。
That's so weird. Yeah, he needs his
どうしてや。
he needs his
そんなに
either his ugly
その
leopard
5
print
スターっ
stuff
ちゅうやつらの店は。
or his like
もち
slightly
ろん
more
店
stylish
舗はどれもすごい人気です。
unlimited blade works costume.
閉店に追いやられた理由
He
は
wears leopard print in
そ
Zero
れ
at
だ
some
け
point,
じゃ
right?
なくて、
それだけじゃない。なんや。
簡単
Or
に
even
言う
like
と
one of the somewhat stylish things he wears in one of the CEs he's featured in.
嫌がらせ。
もう嫌がらせするのもいい加減にしてくださいよ。
ん。
毎日毎日朝から晩までいたずら電話したり、営業中に騒いで邪魔をしたり、もううんざりですよ。健全な勝負で負けるなら納得しますけど、こんなやり方卑怯ですよ。
失礼な人ですね。その嫌がらせをやっているのが我々だという証拠はどこにあるんです？
Holy shit, that's an
ない
ugly
で
suit.
しょ
なんやあいつ。
あれがさっき言った蒼天堀5スターですよ。
ほう。あれが。
He must be a hella shrewd businessman,
蒼天堀5スターの一人、
born with a
クラブマーズ
golden
店長
spoon.
の日野という男です。クラブマーズはこの辺りのお客さんをほぼ独占しているお店で、近所にあるうちの店に圧力をかけ続けているんです。
Terrible sense of fashion.
証拠なんかないけ
Don't
ど、
wear red
あん
and
なひど
pink
いことを
polka
やるなら
dots with
あんた
a
たちに決まっ
pink
てるだろう。
dress shirt. That's
うちの店が
disgusting.
立ち退け
And a
ば
bow tie,
この
It's
蒼
like
天堀の
yellow.
キャ
Oh
バ
my
クラが
god.
全て5スターのものになる。あんたの狙いはそれなんだろ
う。なんだ。
God, it's like orange and yellow, and then pink and
な
pink
ら
and then
話が早い。さっさと立ち退いてくださいよ。もちろん今ならそれ
I
相応
don't
の
have the
立ち
highest
退きしよう
standards
と
for
したら
fashion, but if I saw a person in real life wearing what that guy's wearing,
ただ
I would
こ
probably
れ以上
be
高く
cringing.
言うなら
I would legitimately feel sorry for them. Feel like
こんな薄汚れた店に
Be super
金を
cringe,
出して
wow.
やると言ってるんだ。悪い話じゃないでしょ。
like I would not be caught dead in that, and I don't really care
う。
what I
どれだ
wear.
けの同業者たちが苦しんだと思ってるんだ。
If you're gonna dress up, at least look half decent. He looks like a
蒼
clown.
天堀は独占させない。
さすがはかつて人気店だったサンシャインの店長。他の店のように簡単には落ちないみたいだね。まあ今日は引き上げましょう。ただ次会う時には結論を聞かせてもらいますよ。
何度来ても同じだ。私の結論は変わらない。
はあ、頑固ですね。まあそう言わずにまたご挨拶させてくださいよ。
I'm actually curious how this cabaret club is different than a cabaret,
ああ、そ
because
う
it hasn't really felt too different.
そういえばあなたの娘さん東京に住んでいらっしゃるんですね。いやー可愛くてびっくりしましたよ。いやそれにしても心配ですよね。あんな可愛い娘さんがもし万一誰かに襲われたりしたら。
It seems like the same concept. You go to a bar
娘に何かする気か。
that provides the girls to drink with, but you also have to pay money for them.
ただ
Car in hands.
そういうことをす
I
る
really
大人
like
がいないとは限らないですよ。
Han's updated animations are
この
kind
ご
of
時世
nice.
ですから
After
くれぐれ
seeing
も
Uriel's
お気を
today, though, I'm much more excited to see
では
Uriel's
ま
new
たお伺い
animations.
しますよ。
くそ。
The new strengthening wave that's gonna be good, though. I really need to get my
班長、
my Han's actually set up to be used. Like, I've maxed out Waver, so I should really, even though it's not as efficient, I should really start, like, bonding up
いろい
Hans
ろ
or
大変
something.
みたいやな、店長。
He can pull work as a
お客さん
support.
すみません。お恥ずかしいところをお見せして。
Like, he can generate way more stars than Waver
気
at the
に
very
する
least.
な。それにしてもなんなんやあいつ。
You just have to put a bunch of points into his skills, the second and third one especially.
なんであんたの店をそこまで狙ってるんや。
蒼天堀5スターはお互い手を組んで蒼天堀のキャバクラをすべて自分たちの
Monopoly is
店だけで
always
独
the
占し
goal
よう
of
としているんです
capitalism. Come on, we know
元
this.
々蒼天堀には
Yeah, I guess we aren't like informed on politics though, in this, as his character.
たくさんの店が出店していて栄えていました。しかし彼ら5スターは手段を選ばず金を使った引き抜きや嫌がらせ暴力による圧力などで次々と他の店を飲み込んでいきました。その結果蒼天堀に残っているキャバクラは彼らの5店舗とうちだけになってしまったんです。
なるほどな。そうなりゃ確かにあんたの店を乗っ取って完全独占したくもなるわな。しかし、なんであいつらはそんなことをしてまで蒼天堀を独占したいんや。
詳しいことは分かりませんが噂では蒼天堀のキャバクラを独占することでキャバレーを潰す力を手に入れたいらしいです。
キャバレーを潰す？
はい。
How it matters, because our character runs a cabaret.
大きな力と金を持っているのはグランドなどをはじめとする大型店キャバレーです。彼らはそのキャバレーを打ち破り支配することで
But how is this club different than a regular cabaret? I'm so
人
confused.
脈などをごっそり手に入れたい。
A strengthening and a new costume dress. Life is good for Mordred. Although, Chichua is still better.
なるほどな。キャバクラだけでなく、
She is still,
キャバレ
Chichi
ーま
is
で
still
独占でき
better.
れば、実質的に街全体を支配し、コントロールすることも可能かもしれん。
I wish Mordred was better. She's like my favorite. She's my favorite AoE saber.
あいつらに屈することだけはしたくない。
Oh well. Oh well. I'm still gonna level her up.
正直営業どころじゃなくなっていま
I
した。
want them to stop throwing sabers at me, but if they actually stop, then I'll never get Mordred.
まあ、お世辞にもいい状態とは言えんな。
これでも少し前まではこの地域のキャバクラでは一二を争う人気店だったんです。でもあいつらによる店内での迷惑行為の連続でお客さんも離れてしまいましたし、女の子もほとんど引き抜かれてしまいました。このままではいずれにしても近いうちに
I
うち
have
の店は潰れます。
Blue Nero and Okita.
奴らの要求を飲むしかないんですかね。あんな奴らの悪事に屈してしまうのはすごく悔しいんですが。
I have to get. I actually need those materials for Nero. Looking forward to Nero, but I don't know when that 4-star is coming out. I've seen a bunch of 4-star guides coming out, so I'm thinking people are predicting beginning of next month for the 4-star ticket. Yeah, I could use a 5-star Lancer. The 5-star Lancers are also pretty good, which is nice. Like, Artoria Lancer has a 50% battery, so Artoria Lancer is obviously good. Karna has a battery and anti-divine, so he's also really good. Enkidu does a stupid amount of damage and has that anti-divine, anti-threat to humanity niche. And he's single target. They're all good Lancers. Assassins, obviously you have Jack and Cleopatra, who are both pretty good. Is there a third 5-star assassin in the general pool? I thought it was just those two.
しゃあないな。店長、俺が手伝ったるわ。
え
実は俺はファイブスターが狙っているキャバレーグランドの支配人なんや。
グランドの支配人って確か敏腕と噂のあなただったんですか。
まあな。
Yeah, but we were just talking about 5 stars. I'm sure
ファイブ
Valkyrie's
スターと
fun.
かいう奴らにこれ以上力をつけられても困るし、何よりもまずそいつらのやり方が気に食わん。俺と一緒にこの店を立て直してあいつらを逆にぶっ潰したので。
いいんですか。グランドの支配人さんがこんな寂れた店に協力してくださるなんて。
困った時はお互い様や。それに俺もキャバクラっちゅう業務形態に興味もあるからな。
To be completely honest, I don't actually know how good Valkyrie's is because she's new, and people normally only talk about Valkyrie's
おっ
drain
と自己紹介がまだ
in the context of the Scotty
マジ
system.
マや。一丁頑張ろうぜ。
真島さんですね。何卒よろしくお願いします。
Looks like we're gonna break up a little monopoly here.
ああ
Q's just good all around. He's a very solid single target lancer. Mostly because he doesn't die. His NP gain and star gen are pretty weak. But the fact that he never dies is what sells everyone on him.
ええ。
なんやて。
ええ。
Oh my god, we also get a business on this side of the route. We already manage like the biggest cabaret in town, but it doesn't mechanically cause us to do anything. Now we're gonna run a little club on the side. Alright. Alright, well, I'm okay with making shit tons of money. May as well run when we don't really have cabarets in real life here anymore. They're not popular. We have regular bars and clubs, as far as I know. I guess I could go look for one. But I've never been to any place where you can go to pay for a girl's drinks who's hired by, and getting paid by the management of the place that you're going to. Weird concept. Because these aren't like prostitutes, right? Like you're literally just hanging out with and drinking with the employees of the bar. Like it's like a really weird kind of concept. Yeah. See, at least with the bar, the concept is you could get lucky with someone, right? Or you'll meet someone, and they're there to meet someone too. Like in these cabarets, the women you pay by the hour to in a cabaret you like pay by the hour to hang out with the woman, then you still pay for the drinks. Like it's not a open bar. You're still paying for all the drinks, and they're drinking alcohol that you're also paying for. And then you can't actually do anything with them because it's not like there's a stripper poles or anything like that. So it's not like a CD's a strip club or anything like that, right? Like feels like a weird thing to attend, at least from my perspective. Plus a bit bars, or well, actually they serve actual food. I think they serve actual food at these. I think Machima made food sales, but mostly drinks. Alright, yeah, let's go through the basics of management. Floor manager, girls, upgrades. Alright, as a cabaret club czar, you need to operate your club, earn money, and grow your clientele. Crush competition. Yep. Open the club and manage the girls by talking to Yoda. The guy's name's Yoda, by the way. Kind of funny. It's kind of like... That feels like a reverse bar. Sort of. Okay. Unlock new combat techniques. Alright. And profit. Sounds good. It's pretty vague, but I got it.
Ah,
Let's see how we make some money. This is probably our way of making money outside of fighting. Okay. I'll prepare to open for business and rival battles. We have stats. Yeah, this game has way too there's so much built into this game. Ability. Looks. Okay. Physical appearance goes a long way. I believe double circle is the best you can get. Triangle is like middle of the road. X is bad. Okay. Ability stats rise as they level up. They have health. I don't even know how you have health in this game. Only platinum hosts can undergo special training. Practice on mock dates at karaoke bars. Earn XP. Okay. Change the looks by choosing makeup. Hairstyles, dresses, and items. Change it to modify their appearance stats. Okay. That's like equipment. Use duty roster to assign people. Okay. Conditional effect performance. I mean, I feel like I have to read. I just have to get into some of this to understand it. Once you've finished any preparations, you can open the club for business. First, choose which areas customers you want to target. The more rival clubs you defeat, the more areas will be available. As you gain more fans, more customers show up, more of them are big spenders. After each shift, you gain more fans in the target area according to customer satisfaction. Alright. That's quite the thing. We're a rank F club. Let's prepare to open. Hostess list. I mean, we don't exactly have a lot of options here. She's platinum, so in theory we can level her up, right? Now, how do we special training her? Okay, I guess we just do that.
それじゃあ、
はい
ん
It's not nerves, they're battle butterflies.
はい
Hmm.
She's platinum, in theory, so she's got potential.
趣味の話ですか？
Well, I like to play video games. I'm currently playing the Yakuza franchise. It seems pretty good. They have a lot of detail in there. Oh, I didn't know I could move the camera around.
Ah,
Yeah, just talk to me about your hobbies. Come on, tell me something. Yeah, tell me about your hobbies. Hobby. Anyway.
趣味ですよね。何かあったかな？趣味。
hmm?
Game has a lot of details for its mini games. They're very, very
はい。私、
elaborate.
無趣味でした。
Oh wow, that makes you sound like an interesting person. No hobbies whatsoever? I mean, video games haven't been invented yet, really. They aren't really a thing, so I understand. But couldn't you play like tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons or like 40k or whatever the precursor to that is? Historical battles, right? You could do that. Maybe play cards, gamble. Movies? Movies are a thing in the 80s, right? Yeah, movies are a thing. No hobbies whatsoever. You can't, not even hobbies you don't want to admit to? Come on, nothing?
Oi, oi.
Yeah, you just killed the whole conversation by saying you have no hobbies and nothing you want to talk about.
趣味と言っていいのかわからないですけど、毎日日記を書くようにはしてますよ。
Maintaining a diary, alright.
Oh.
Yeah, arcades are still a thing? I mean, we've literally been to an arcade, and some of these... I was looking some stuff up earlier, and a lot of the stores they actually reference in the game are real. And a lot of the locations were set up in real life. So if there was a pachinko parlor in the area, it's more or less period accurate that there would be a pachinko parlor there. So yeah, they definitely had at least something to do. This girl needs to do something other than work. Even the workaholics I know ostensibly have hobbies. They just don't actually participate in them. They'll be like, oh yeah, I like playing video games. You'll be like, when was the last time you played a video game? And they'll say like 5 months. I mean, I feel like people don't consider it a hobby, but I feel like watching YouTube videos or streams is like a hobby. Like at the very least, you're still like a gaming enthusiast, even if you're not actively playing all the time. Okay. How are my bonsai plants doing? Bonsai? Yeah, bonsai is actually a hobby. You have to maintain that tree, man. I mean, you don't have to interact with others to have a hobby, right? I also feel like messaging people or like talking to people while you're like participating in chat is like very different than talking to them in real life. Especially if you're in like a larger channel. Like in a smaller channel, it's not so bad, but it's still like one person talking, the other person typing. Is a very different dynamic than 2 people just talking. Yeah, bonsai's.
なるほど。確かにそうですね。真島さんって意外とよく気がつく人ですね。
Yeah, that sucks. They canceled all the 40k tournaments, but I believe some of them are starting back up and some of the places are opening back up. I don't know where you are, but there might be some stuff running, even if it's not any of the big tournaments. I haven't actually checked if any of the FNMs near me are running. I used to play Magic. I kinda got overwhelmed by my other hobbies. I haven't played. When was the last time I haven't played competitively since like the end of Innistrad block. Not Return to Innistrad block. I haven't actually played Magic in like 2-ish years because I like stopped playing competitively and just goofed around in EDH. Because making weird combos and janky decks is really fun. Yeah, I haven't looked into the last couple of sets. The last time I even looked into meta was it was right around the time Return to Zendikar came out. And I was looking at getting into Modern, and then Return to Zendikar had all those crazy Eldrazi, and they like shat over the entirety of Modern. And I was just like, I don't want to play Eldrazi. I'll do something else. Oh, they banned like 7-8 cards? They must have really screwed up. They also got like that new Modern, right? The new version of Modern that uses only the latest borders, right? As a new format. How's that doing? You went back to Zendikar a 3rd time? Well, I like the world of Zendikar. It's kind of fucked up now. Yeah, Pioneer, that's what I was thinking of. I couldn't remember the name of it.
私なんて盆栽歴8年くらいですから、盆栽界の中ではまだまだひよこ。趣味なんて言ったら先輩たちに怒られちゃいます。
Oh, that's cool. 4-color Omnath. Holy shit, this chick just said she has 8 years experience with Bond. Could you imagine being like, yeah, I've been playing Magic for competitive Magic for 8 years, which makes me fucking nobody. Got banned a month after release. Sounds right. Sounds about right. People were having too much fun. I mean, if you can fit a 4-color creature in your decks reliably to the point where they have to ban it, yeah, I can see why they banned it. Like, that's a lot of color support if you can run 4-color cards reliably. 'Cause I assume he actually costs like 4 different colors, right? Oh, people are people are doing landfall. I like the landfall mechanic. What's he have for landfall? Yeah. Or like, do they have like both kinds of fetches in rotation or something crazy? Or no, because it's Zendikar. They probably printed like something like Terramorphic Expanse or Evolving Wilds at common, and then probably also had fetches at rare, right? So you can trigger landfall really easily multiple times per turn. And that also is what gets you your color fixing. Because you just color fix into whatever other dual land they have. I'm predicting that's what it's like if you're playing 4-color decks.
そうなんですよね。なんか私なんかが急に話しかけたら逆に失礼な気がして。
First fall landfall, you gain 4 life. Second, get his mana cost. Third, do 4 damage to opponents, planeswalkers, and creatures. Opponents, planeswalkers, and creatures? Or opponent planeswalkers and creatures? Either way, that's pretty good. Is it like a cycle? Or is it like a cycle, or is it like each one per turn? So yeah, like you have to do 3 per turn. I'm kind of curious how that's templated. I'll just look up Omnath, see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't want Locust, I want the new Omnath. Unless it is Locust of Creation. Find out. Oh, it is like times per turn. Oh, okay. Each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. It doesn't hit creatures, but that's still pretty good. Okay, well, triggering it 3 times is actually kind of hard. Like, that requires some setup. Obviously, you can do it, but at least you aren't getting it on, like, your land per turn, like... Alright, that's pretty cool. I like that idea. That's a lot of card... I mean, it could be worse. It could be, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Levels of card text. I had a friend, after I got out of Magic, tried to get me into Yu-Gi-Oh! And that game is, like... If Magic is, like, really complicated core rules and relatively simple cards, it's like the opposite, where every card is like an essay, and the rules are like the most basic shit ever. Oh, they have a new version of Azusa? Is it a... Okay, it's a reprint of Azusa. That's pretty that's crazy powerful. So turn 3 Azusa land, or turn 3 land Azusa land if you have the cards for it. Yeah, Lotus Cobra also good. Oh, they also have Lotus Cobra printed in Zendikar? Damn. That's a serious, like, turn 3. A serious turn 2, turn 3 play. A lot of easy ways to trigger powerful stuff, because... if you have Lotus Cobra, you get any color you want when it landfalls, right? I haven't seen that card in ages. Guess that makes sense why you're able to play a 4-color card. 4 unique color card reliably. Yeah. Because you play like... Lotus Cobra's like 2 mana, right? So you do like 1 and whatever, and then Lotus Cobra landfall. Then the third turn you can Lotus Cobra as landfall and another land to get your 4 colors. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And Lotus Cobra is at 2 mana, so you don't even have to play something that comes into play untapped on turn 1. I mean, depending on your deck. That's pretty good. You can like play ramp or some land fetch or some card filtering to make sure you have the lands in hand.
私真島さんのこと生まれて初めて尊敬できましたよ。縦に変な眼帯してませんね。
ちょい待てや。
え、あれ、精一杯褒めてみたつもりだったんですけど、すいません。何言ってるんですか。私だって特技くらいありますよ。
Oh, that sounds fun. At 3 mana. Couldn't, I could have sworn there was a 4 mana planeswalker that did that too, right? Or no. How much was Tezzeret did that on a 0, didn't he? He was also more mana than that. He also made 5/5s, but he made XXs? Tezzeret makes XXs. Someone else makes 5/5s. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cheap to make a 3/3.
よくお年寄りに好かれたりしますよ。
Can you turn anybody's creatures or artifacts into a 3/3 with no abilities on an uptick? Just like turn a useful like turn your opponent's creatures and artifacts into elks? Just to really screw up their game plan? Or is it like an end of turn thing? Okay, that's gross. That's gross, man.
Hmm.
あ、確かに。私おじいちゃん子なので、お年寄りのお客さんと話してる方が自然に喋れる気がしてたんですよね。
Oh, cool. So it makes. I assume she makes artifact tokens. I'm guessing artifact tokens, or are they creature tokens? If they're artifact tokens, that's like super easy to abuse, making tokens every turn.
Aye.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I should have the, I should get the bot, the magic card bot at some point. I don't play Magic anymore, but I know there's a bot for that. Okay, I'm gonna read this. +2, create a food token. It's an artifact with 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. +1, target artifact or creature loses all abilities, it becomes a green elf creature with base power toughness 3/3. -5, exchange control of target artifact or creature you control, and target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or less. Cool, so the ultimate's fairly middling, but you can do some crazy shit with that uptick. 3 mana. At 3 mana, that's pretty good value. That is pretty good value. The only thing you can't do is, unless it comes in with 5, it can't like instantly remove something, but you can still nerf things into the ground. Yeah, so you kill anything super threatening or strip off the abilities of anything good. Make them like 3/3. At least they aren't still printing Lightning Bolt. There's a big difference between like Incinerate and Shock and running Lightning Bolt. Or even, what's the alternative? Lightning Spike? I think Lightning Spike's the alternative to Lightning Bolt. No, that's a different card. Oh well. I know there's another one cost thing that's basically a lightning bolt. The one that's like suspend red. Oh no, I'm thinking something else. Oh well.
苦手なことたくさんありますけど、まあ失礼ですね。そうですね。真面目な話をしますと、私男の人と話すことが苦手です。
Kind of been stammering a little bit, and you're a hostess. Yeah, what would you do here?
それはですね。
Maybe you just want to get better. That's why you could start.
苦手だからこそですよ。
Exactly.
ここで働いたら男の人への免疫が高まるんじゃないかなって。
Ah, I see. I feel like that's the way the Ravnica plot was going. I didn't read the whole thing, but with them prepping, with them like making Jace in charge of stuff, and then him having to actually do stuff and relying on Niv Mizzet to do a bunch of shit, I was kind of expecting Mizzet to become in charge. I read the plot of Amon Ket and I think Return to Innistrad. Or no, I don't even remember which one was first. But I know they were leading into the return to Ravnica. I was wondering how that would go, because I remember reading the start of the invasion. Yeah, I assume he got defeated because he showed up in person on Ravnica. Or I think he did. I was basically like drifting out of the whole circle of magic around that time.
それはないですよ。真島さんは多分男の人って感じがしないから大丈夫なんじゃないかと。
なんやと？
すいません。
That's gonna be an awkward few eternities. Just imagine that now. Oh yes, oh thanks for murdering me. How's it going? I don't think I've even pulled out any of my magic cards in a while. Should get to doing that. All those gorgeous... nobody cares about Domri. Nobody cares about Domri Red. If you cared, you were wrong. Does he get wrecked by Bolas? Because like his invulnerability or some shit fails? Cast on duty. Hostess Liz. We've already been to Hostess Liz. This is those girls. Makeover. Can only make over platinums. Any of these have better stats? I guess that one's straight up better. I like how there's like 5 different colors for all these, and I'm just like staring at the looks going, which one's mechanically better, please? Just... Oh, I don't even like these lovely one pieces. These are all. This is an ugly dress. Does the heroic sacrifice thing for Liliana. It's not the worst idea. I guess it's a cute dress. I don't freaking know what color. I guess yellow's her color. I don't even like yellow. We're going with yellow. That seems like a thing Gideon would do. Wait, how is that a downgrade? Princess Curls is way better than this ugly bob. Like, look at those bangs. The ugly bob cut. Oh my god. No, please. Mechanically worse. Get real. Yes, yes she was. Did these change? No mechanical changes, don't care. Cool. She's hella cute, apparently. Garrick isn't cursed anymore. Oh, that's good. It was super boring to have him randomly written out of the story. Be like, oh, this is one of our core 5 Gameswalkers. Surprise, he got wrecked. Bye. Erased from the story. I was like, did he fail the marketing appeal test? They had to replace him with Nissa, who a lot of people didn't really like. I mean, I don't hate Nissa, but I'm more a fan of Chip and Chandra and Liliana. Like what's-his-face, who got in shit for making that art piece. Making and selling that art piece because he's an official Wizards artist. I feel like that one's also predictable, Elspeth not being dead. So let's open for this lineup. They clearly hooked into that happening at some point. Like they left the plot hooks for that to happen. And her showing up is like just a matter of time. It's nice to see things come to fruition though, right? Even if it's like really obvious she's gonna be back. I do mechanically like most of the Elspeth cards. Heliod's the bad guy of the second arc, I see. Makes sense. He kind of showed his hand. Wow, we have more to do in this game. Different customers have their own preferences when it comes to abilities. Choose a girl that matches the type and happy sign of fortune or club. Okay. Collaboration screen. Money gauge and party time. So are we gonna be playing like some weird mini version of the Cooking Mama now? I actually bought a copy of Ashiok just because he looked weird. I wonder what his motive is. We basically knew jack shit about him, right? Other than that, he like fucks with people's dreams. Like Ashiok Dreamweaver. He kind of just existed and was printed, as I recall. I'm like, I want to see. Who would I want to see more of in Magic? I don't know what I would want to see more of in Magic. I'd like more Sorin. Oh, let's go with that. I'd like more Sorin. Yeah, I imagine he could learn a lot from the Phyrexians about giving people nightmares. Well, that's good. As that was a super lame fucking fight. Holy shit. That was like the dumbest thing I'd read in like 3 years when I read that. I was like, what the fuck? It's like he just doesn't do anything. He's like, well, I guess I'll lose. All right then. All right. They made him too strong, so I guess they made him too strong, so he's one of those characters who can't show up because he's too good. At least when Bolas was around, he had someone who would obviously roll him. But now he's like one of, if not the biggest guys in the multiverse in terms of power. Because he can fuck people up pretty hard. And isn't like retarded like Liliana, where she's like, I'm screwing myself over every time I use my powers. And I'm already in trouble all the time. I mean, that seems fair. Nahiri shows up on Innistrad just to fuck with him for literally no reason, because she's as dumb as a rock. So he comes back to fuck with her. Alright. Press triangle to... Oh my god, these are so many instructions. Keep a chance to often. It's making their priority. Checking on staff tables. Alright. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like having independent stories. Like, that's one of the downside of having their little Avengers team, is they have to have a villain. Whereas if you're just going to independent planes without any character, you can kind of just introduce a new world and a new story every time you want to do it. Makes everything modular. Like how we can safely have Grand Order and Stay Night and like extra, because they're attached in theory, but they don't necessarily have to be directly attached, whereas Wizards is really trying to keep everything directly attached. He just needs to get some of that old Walker juice going. Stretch his muscles a little bit. Alright. This music is kind of nice. I like vibing to this. God, this is so much information to read. I don't really want to take all this in at once. Okay, so that's how this works. I hit zoom. What do I need to do? This is a weird game. I think I just leave them there and wait for things to happen. I can see how this would get a little bit overwhelming. We only got 6 tables. What do we got here? What do you want? Say something. Say something.
盛り上がってきた。
There we go.
ゲストグラス
わかりました。
ようこそごゆっくり
Well, I mean, we only got 1 person.
お待たせ。
かわいい。
ありがとうございます。
Throw the money at me. I need the money.
ありがとうございます。
Karn's gonna be. Karn's an interesting fellow. I'm glad they brought him back. Oh no, give in. What do we need? What is this? Dude, say something.
面白いですね。
楽しいな。
こちらになります
Smoker. Kind of forgot for the longest time that people smoked indoors.
お願いします。
Not really a thing anymore, is it? At least not here. Not where I live. Although it's hard to tell with the coronavirus making a mess of everything.
へえ。
What do you want? An ashtray.
灰皿交換
助かったわ。お願いします。
Check, please.
ご延長はいかがでしょう
延長で。
ご延長ありがとうございます
めっちゃ嬉しい。
He asked for the check. That never happens. That hasn't happened yet so far. We're getting a shit ton of money.
嬉しいわ。
フィーバーするで
Spend your money. Open your wallets for me.
いらっしゃいごゆっくりどうぞ
めっちゃ嬉しい。お願いします。
いいねいいね。
フィーバーするで
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます
嬉しいです。
盛り上がってきた。
お願いします。
I was not
かわいい
こちらになります
yeah, give a gratuitous gift. We're just starting out. We need to get return customers and people who will spend big money, I guess. That makes sense. Alright, what do we got? You and you? Send you.
よろしくお願いします。
美人さんだな。
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting this to be like a full mini
よう
game.
こそサンチェごゆっくりどうぞ
I was expecting this to be really simpler than this, and they like overdid my expectations. I was expecting something like the business thing,
買いますよ。
where you like come back here and then to fix stuff and just collect money passively, and this is like a full-on management minigame. We have to swap these out. Yeah, no, he's not gonna like that. It's better than this disaster, I guess. Oh, that's annoying. That's bad. This guy's like rolling on cute. What's this guy, sexy? Yeah, we don't have skills in that. So our best choice is middling happy.
よろしくお願いし
よろしく
ます。
いいね。
That's slightly more efficient, I think.
嬉しいです。
Yeah, it's not amazing, but it's what we're doing. Alright.
かわいいね。
Yeah, they're throwing a shit ton of money, to be honest. Alright. Interesting minigame. Like tidy 2 million yen. Not the most efficient. Ah, they level up, so the more we participate in this, the more we get. Damn, Yuki's like rocking levels. Like nobody's business. The other one's got a little bit, it seems. Guess that's why she's our star, right?
ありがとう
Looks
ござ
like
い
we're
ま
gonna
し
have
た
to do this a bunch of times. Apparently this is required for plot progression. Do you believe
ありが
that?
とうございました。
Man. Yeah. They have some good storylines in Magic. I like... What was my favorite story? I actually really liked the new Phyrexia storyline. Where we show up and get the Phyrexian invasion. I think that was the first storyline I really liked in Magic. I followed a bunch of them. Like, the original Zendikar was okay. I liked the world of Zendikar, though. I didn't really care for the actual plot too much. It's like... It was kind of just like a thing. It wasn't super compelling. Same with Innistrad. The original plot of Innistrad also sucks. Yeah, we gotta farm for this story. But, hey, I don't mind that. I can feel that, like, it's a weird minigame. This game is, like, has so many weird minigames in it. It's kind of fun. Oh, okay. Trade in CP from the completion list or add girls by scouting around Stonebury. So don't just grind, go do side quests. For the business thing, like the minute you unlock it, like every side quest character becomes business related, so... Okay. Spend money to make money. Gotta have a little bit of grinding, as long as it's not too bad in this game, right? This is like a single player game. I'm not a huge fan of enormous amounts of grinding in single player games. As long if they give you some decent gameplay changes or only have you do something a couple times, I think it's reasonable. It's like what single player games am I okay with grinding in? I think every time I usually try to skip the grind. Like, I'm not a huge fan of is it Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy or Pokemon grinding all that much. If you have to like spend more than like 30 minutes grinding, I usually take a break. I'm only okay with Grand Order because I actually really like the plot, and it usually isn't done in big chunks, and like if it is done in big chunks, it's like super lucrative and it feels like you're being more productive because it'll be like an event where other interesting things are going on. Yeah, I think last event, single player game I actually grinded. I think I grinded for money for Bayonetta to unlock everything in that currency shop, and I just found like the best way to farm was abusing glitches to make shit tons of the currency halos.
Oi.
That game's hella fun if you haven't played it, Bayonetta. I don't know, it might be moving too fast to stream effectively, but it's super fun. It's a very wide range of difficulties. One of those games where it's like a spectacle fighter, and it's very easy to play at a low level, and it's very difficult to play at a high level, and it gets very difficult to the point where like everything in the game two-shots you. As the only reason things two-shot you and not one-shot you is because in Bayonetta, if you are above 1 health and you take damage, you're at 2 health or 2,000 health and you take 1,000 damage, you go to 1 health. Yeah, it's usually grinding in Grand Order is usually best done in events. Like, you shouldn't really be grinding all that hard outside of events.
Hmm?
And the reason they want you to only do bursts of grinding is so you don't burn yourself out grinding all the time. I know, isn't it weird? They bought the license. I'm glad that Bayonetta 2 came out at all, but I'm really pissed off that it's only for Nintendo. Because, like, I have a PS3 copy and a PC copy. I freaking love that game. I've beaten Bayonetta like 10 times. I beat the second one once, but that's only because I played it at one of my friends' houses. Which, if you're wondering, I beat it in a day because I just sat down and played it. I was like, I'm not buying a Wii U for this. I'm just gonna play through it. Oh, that game's so good. Like, I love the first game because it's just like, you play through the first 3 difficulties and you're like, I understand this game. I'm good at this game. You go to non-stop infinite climax and they're just like, you know how you've been like evading boss attacks and then hitting them in slow-mo? we're gonna disable the slow-mo part, so you have to do everything in real time. Yeah, it's unfortunate they're the only company that put forth the money to make Bayonetta 2, but man, like, going from hard to non-stop infinite climax was like the biggest holy shit moment I've had in like a difficulty curve, where you're like, holy fuck, this is so hard, how did it come to this? And you're also like, wait a minute, this game is like requires an insane amount of skill to play properly. It's like, you think you're good, and then they're just like, those who are, like, you had a handicap, we're taking away the training wheels, get playing this in real time. And then once you start playing Bayonetta in real time, you're like, oh yeah, this is where the peak game is, where you're just like, you're fighting Baldur, and you're doing everything in real time. And like, if you unlock Jean instead of Bayonetta, where you have infinite dodges as Jean, but you take even more damage, you can do bonus damage with your combo finishers. Like, fighting Baldur like that is so much fun. Or fighting Rodon, but man, fuck Rodon. That guy's awful no matter what. I hate fighting Rodon so much. I don't know how much you actually paid Bayonetta, but Rodon is in both of them as a hidden boss, and he's crazy hard. And he's also the reason why I was farming Halos, because you need to have gotten like 10 million on a profile, 10 million Halos on a profile to unlock him. Not a fun. Very difficult fight, much harder than Baldur, but it's worth fighting. Yeah, that game's fun. Like, all the weapons, all the different weapon choices are fun. Like this ice skates, I love the ice skates. I love the sword. I love the rocket launchers. I love the gazillionaires. They're like the laser pistols. I kind of like the gun. I like the guns just for style points. Usability, not so much. I mean, like, they're obviously, like, the shotguns I like. I like the shotguns. The pistols are still good. All the weapons in Bayonetta, except for the whip, are really good. The whip's only useful for like one challenge quest. That game had a good selection of weapons too. I feel like they were a little bit more samey, but it's still a really good game. Holy shit. I was not expecting something with like those mediocre visuals and the super generic plot to be like 10 out of 10 gameplay. It's like if a visual novel is like a 1 or a 0 on gameplay, but like can be like a 9 or 10 on story, that's like Bayonetta is like, yeah, we put like 1 or 2 points into our visuals and 1 or 2 points into our story, and we're just like 100% effort into gameplay. Like they really nailed that gameplay. Holy shit. Like, and the like extra stuff to do once you beat the game is still there, because it's like, oh, there's stuff you unlock for like properly speedrunning the game, and then like there's still extra stuff to go around and unlock. The extra difficulty that adds more depth to it. The new characters actually change your damage intake and slightly change your moveset. And like, I still suck at that game too, is the like funniest thing. Like, I cannot do dodge offsets properly to save my life. That is still a thing that is mostly too far, except for in like the easiest perfect scenarios where I know the attack's coming and I'm not under any stress. I can sometimes dodge offset, but like, holy shit, like the fact that you can like dodge and then like hold a button and then be able to press the next button in your combo was like completely mind-blowing to me when I realized I could do that. And then I kept screwing it up, and my brother made fun of me all the time because I kept screwing it up. He's like, how are you beating the game like this without knowing how to do this properly? I'm like, I just keep dying until I succeed. I don't give up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bayonetta is such a good game. Bayonetta is good. So since you know that they put forth the money, does that mean you like also play Bayonetta? Have you also played Metal Gear Rising? 'Cause let me tell you, Metal Gear Rising, the gameplay is not 10 out of 10. It's like 8 or 9. But they really, really turned up the story, and the visuals went up a bit too. But I've also played Metal Gear Rising like 6 or 7 times. In fact, I might have played it a little bit more, just because that game is also really fun. And also gets relatively difficult. It doesn't like, the scaling difficulty isn't as crazy, but it's, oh, yeah, it's definitely worth playing. Like, just for the first level. I would say the best levels are like the first level and like the last 3 levels-ish. They have some really interesting mechanics. So in Metal Gear Rising, you're like, yes, you do fight Senator Armstrong as the final boss, but you play as Raiden, the cyborg samurai. Or, I guess he's a shinobi. I guess he's more like a shinobi, but anyway. Yeah, so you fight an American senator as the final boss in Sword versus Fist, where you're disadvantaged because nanomachines. The first boss, if you played any Metal Gear Solid game, literally 5 minutes into the game, they have you fight on foot a Metal Gear, and you like carve it to pieces. It's freaking great. They have this interesting mechanic where your sword, if you press, I believe, left trigger, you can aim your sword Fruit Ninja style. Like, everyone's played the mobile game Fruit Ninja, right? Where you like draw lines to cut things. So that's part of the game mechanic. You can anything you can slice like that. When you're fighting enemies, you like damage their health bar, and when they get low enough, you can either keep doing damage, or you can like go into blade mode and start slicing pieces off. The way you heal against regular enemies is you cut off specific body parts at specific points. So like you need to cut an arm, like the left arm midway down the body while you're fighting guys to get like your health back. And you'll fight like mecha and shit when you're doing that too, so it's not like the same place every time. It's really cool. And then they start throwing shit, so like when you get to the final boss, he like throws boulders at you, and you have to Fruit Ninja style slice the boulders in half, and then you immediately flow back into your regular combat to avoid dying. So you're doing like your spectacle fighter, brawler style combat, and then occasionally you'll just have to instantly whip into first person mode to like cut through a boulder, or like there's another boss, he has like mechanical arms that he uses as shields, and you have to like slice the arms off at the joints, and if you miss anywhere else, you'll whiff. And then of course the whole game's like super high octane, because you can like, for bullshit reasons, you can like run on walls and suplex a mecha. Like, they definitely turned up the excitement all the time. After the tutorial, the like hype turns down a little bit, but the boss fights in the game are all really solid. So like, the hype train goes down a bit, but then you fight Mistral, I believe, is the first boss after that, and she's like got a bunch of little mini robots that she grabs together to make like a spear. You have a pretty sweet duel with her. Oh yeah, you get to slice everything. What's the final solution? It's not that crazy, but it's still horrifying. Yeah, the final ascension for Christopher Columbus isn't that crazy. It adds like a little bit more detail, as I recall. Metal Gear Rising is good. I like Mistral. Actually, I love Sundowner. The soundtrack for Metal Gear Rising is also amazing. Like you should straight up look up the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance soundtrack. If you like synth metal, that soundtrack is an absolute banger. They also have they have versions with lyrics for almost all the tracks. Like obviously you've probably heard of Rules of Nature. I mean, that's like the most obvious one. Red Sun's another good one. The Last Boss's one is also really good. Get what I forget what track that is. There's a bonus track from the DLC that's also good. Hot Wind Rising is good. I listen to the soundtrack itself on repeat for several days. Even though most of the tracks are only like they're only like 2-ish minutes long each track, but they did a really good job making like a synth metal album on top of making a game soundtrack. Does her final ascension go from being in the bathing suit to being like a weird version of her regular form? Or is it the other way around? Like, is she in the One Piece or is that the other one? I don't remember which ascension is which. Yeah, that ate up way more time. I was not expecting to spend like 45 minutes in the cabaret club section. Holy crap. Unlocking new gameplay features. This is the Sunshine. What's this? The Massage Palace? Like 10 freaking story related areas here. Right. Okay. Can we buy out stores here? Like, what can we do? Oh, look. We're still an F-rank business, but we're partnering up with people. Alright. Ah, okay. Cool. We'll just spend a bunch of money on partnering up with businesses. I don't want to go to the Mahjong parlor. This game has straight up Mahjong, and that game is hella confusing. I've never played Mahjong before, and man, it's crazy. Oh, the April Fool's stuff for Grand Order. Yeah, that's pretty good. I really like all the sprites that guy does, or not the sprites, but all the alternate ascensions that guy does. He does like really good artwork for simple stuff. Reminds me of Carbot. He does a bunch of StarCraft animations. That guy's style reminds me of him. Do I take up another side quest?
What?
Oh.
I dare.
What?
Hand over the medicine.
Ah.
You're talking about the guy who does like the really cutesy chibi style stuff, right? The official artist, he does the alternate ascensions. Yeah, I know, there's like a million side quests in this game. They also like weirdly help you sometimes. So like under Kiryu, half the guys I did side quests with randomly showed up as like for like the business mechanic when I unlocked it. It was like, oh, this girl who was running like a ring that was forcing all the girls at her high school to sell their used panties. She's like randomly available as a businesswoman because she's just like I mean, I already know how to take everyone. I know how to already get goods moving and set up a distribution network and blah blah blah. Like, I can totally help manage a business, and you're like, that seems fair. Like, it's better. It's better than like extorting your fellow classmates, putting them in danger.
Oh?
I need a fight or something. That was a lot of reading. I need to turn my brain off for a minute. I wasn't expecting to actually have to figure out how to play a management minigame in this. Ouch. But they don't have the Ryu's. It's like Ryo or Ryu, right? The guy who does the artist. I wish they gave us those sprites in game. Martha Ruler is a costume for Rider Martha. That would be pretty cool too. Like how? I like the Rider, or I like the Ruler Martha skins. They're pretty good. The Ascension art, they're pretty good. I actually did roll for Ruler Martha. Unfortunately, didn't get her. Holy shit! No, we're gonna save first. Unfortunately, didn't get her. I instead got Archuria. Seems like an okay trade, but still want her. Not just because I'm missing a ruler. If I was just missing a ruler, I'd be happy with the quets, but I actually want Martha because I really like her. I like her style of just beating people up. Quets has a bit of that too, but she's got her own unique lucha style, right? Like the lucha in Mexico theme going on. Whereas Martha, it's just like, I punch people, deal with it. I'm gonna kick a dragon into you instead of using its abilities. Just punch the dragon and its spines are gonna hurt you.
どうも日本人じゃないようです。多分中国人の背が低くて少しくたびれた感じの。
Which foreigner are you thinking of?
支配人いかがいたしましょう。
Like her noble phantasm is her like grabbing Tarask, throwing it at you, and then punching Tarask to deal damage to the thing she wants to deal damage to by like sending it bodily into them. Great. I like how her... Alright. Short, ragged Chinese guy.
What?
Sorry, sir. Sorry. I'm supposed to follow you. Go.
どうかしました?
Go. This lame brand of escort quest where the person walks faster than your walking speed, but slower than your running speed. Hate it.
こちらのお客様です。
お呼びでしょうか。
ああ、私ね、支配人さん。
ジャンバラヤの闇医者。なんてやったんか。
グランといいお店。全部支配人さんのおごりね。
おい、ここはもうええ。俺がこのお客様の相手する。それと、 こちらの患者俺持ちや。頼むで。
かしこまりました。
Wasn't expecting to see the doc here. Alright.
昼はすまんかったな。あんた、怪我しとらんか。
ああ、いいよ、もう。こっちの方が人数多かったし。あなた、ほんと強いよ。リーさんも顔負けねえ。
Very true, but I like being able to see Medea's face. I think her hood looks kind of silly.
要件言えや。その理はどないした？
ああ、そうそう。私、リーさんのお使いで来たよ。リーさん、あまりこういう店
I want to level up Medea. If I hadn't gotten another caster, she'd be next on the list.
伝言頼まれた。
伝言？
Like her in concept.
私まだ予定ないよ。
And I like her final and third ascension art.
リーの電話なん
As well as the headless model.
ああ、あなた、これからすぐ店抜けられるか？
なあ。
Good
なんで？
お店出たら、
If only
あなた自分の家に
DW
向かう
remembered she existed.
支配人さんのうち、ここから遠い？
いや、蒼天堀沿いや。
ああ、好都合ね。リーさん、あなたがうちに着いたら、そこであなたに声かける。リーさん、お店から出たあなたのこと、どこからか見てる。
俺のねぐらを突き止めたいっちゅうわけか。
私、伝言伝えるだけ、よく知らないよ。
I mean, once she removes her hood, it's easy to forget about how she's actually super evil, because she's just a cute elf.
本当？
While the hood's on, you can kind of believe she's evil.
ああ、さすが太っ腹ね。支配人さん、私あなた大好きよ。
Oh, who was your first 4-star? Mine was Dion. And honestly, I wasn't a fan of Dion for the longest time. Until you get his, like, third skill unlocked, he seems like a really schizophrenic and bad servant. Because he doesn't deal any damage with his NP. He has an evade and a debuff cleanse as his first two skills, so you're like, what is the purpose of this servant? He doesn't do damage. And like, he can't taunt like Leonidas or Georgios. Like, he's supposed to deal damage, he's supposed to not die, but like, why doesn't he have anything? Ah, Marie. Marie is very middle. I haven't actually used Marie. I know she exists. And she's apparently kind of middling. But I haven't used her. Like, I probably used her at some point in Orleans, but I don't remember what she does. I know the Caster Marie, or the Summer Marie, is like stupid hard to kill, and that's about it. Is Rider Marie also just stupid hard to kill? Yeah, speaking of losing clothes on every ascension, Fran Saber, clothing, literal bandages.
マジマやっぱりやどっかで見た顔や思とってグランドの支配人真島五郎ゆうべは世話になったな
ゆうべどちらさんでしたっけ
わしらんことはどうでもええんや誠ちゃんどこやったあの女どこ隠したんや
お前ら
Man, Ozzy's hard to compete with. He's a good single target servant.
女さらいに来た連中
He does so much damage. I love him. He's got like 20%
そ
AoE
っちから
battery
顔出してくれたんか
and drops fucking pyramids on people. Holy shit.
余裕かまし
Ignore everything else. Drop pyramids on people.
何笑とんだ
Best plan.
なんであの子が狙われとんのかこれでやっとわかる思うでな
なめとんのかゆうべは油断したけどな今日はそうもいかんで
Looks like it's time for me to take out my new bat-oriented martial art.
国道なめとったらあかんでくれ。
We technically picked up this martial art last night as well. Oh shit, they weren't staggered. Oh, they were knocked down. Ah, I just get tased? Shit, tasers hit retarded. Let's go, taser. Yep. Oh, I got shot! He has a gun, damn! Seems like he got a nice buster set up there. Iskandar and Ozzy. The good combo. Like, Iskandar does an insane amount of damage in burst. Like, on what, like, he's not like the best NP game, but like when he wants to deal damage on that one turn he's good for, he does like 1 billion damage. Oh, there's gun guy. Okay, I actually need to. Shit, dodge, fuck. Okay, maybe not use bat stance. This guy like jukes away and shoots you for a lot of damage. The rest of the trash mobs are like fairly noticeable in terms of damage when you're in slugger stance. Maybe tunnel him? Alright. Dying like an idiot in this game feels bad, because it's like not that difficult. There's no good excuse for dying. Like, you could have done better. Oh my god, the juke. Okay, you're not gonna get up from this, are you? Oh my god, that's brutal. Like, could you imagine just taking a baseball bat to the face a few times like that? Like the full wind up and everything? Like, obviously we got... I like Rio. Rio Jean looks good. Rio Altera is also good. I like that Rio made Caster Artoria like 5 minutes after she came out. He like posted her on Twitter.
店の前で何やってんだ支配人。
佐川。
なんかトラブルか？らしくねえな。お前さんが店のすぐ近くで暴れるなんてよ。
別に何でもあらへんわ。
なら店をほったらかしてどこへ行く気だ？牧村誠は見つかったのか？
まだや。
へえ。けど昨べお前ねぐらに戻らなかったそうじゃねえか。で、てっきり牧村を見つけたかと思ったんだがよ。
今探しとる途中や。昨日の今日やで。まだ時間はあるやろ。
まあな。見つかっちまえばあとは殺すだけだもんな。でも早いに越したことはねえ。
The fluffy caster?
ならもうええでか。無駄話しとる暇ないんで。
無駄話ってことはねえだろう。こいつはほうれん草だ。
He shows up. Oh, he's the one who shows up in Salem.
上司と仕事する時のいろはだろう。ほうれん草。
せやったら報告と連絡は以上ですわ。
相談はねえのか？
あんたに相談するくらいやったら電柱にでもしとく。
He looks really yummy. Yeah, I'll give you that. Delicious chocolate wizard. Yes, that's the first 3 words that come to mind. Delicious chocolate wizard. Also become strangely obsessed with money during events.
なあ兄ちゃん
Yeah. Strangely obsessed with money whenever the events are on. She was also the lottery leader on Guildfest, so you just continuously poked her breasts to get to spend your currency. That meme. Alright. People always joke about that. At least on Reddit they joke about that. I don't see it. April Fool's Sitting I don't recall that one. Oh, damn. Holy shit, stop hitting me in the back. Oh, it counts as using a weapon when you're using this item. That's interesting. The damage is pretty crazy. The running guy, we're gonna ignore him for a bit. I need to eat something because my guy is half dead from taking stupid amounts of damage. Mostly because I'm doing dumb stuff. I wonder. I'm trying to. I'm like trying to figure out what I want to play next now, because I was thinking I was gonna play either when I finish this game or when I finish Unlimited Blade Works. I was thinking of doing Extella Link. I haven't played that yet. Now I'm kind of tempted to play Metal Gear Rising or Bayonetta, because I haven't beaten both of them on PC. Like, only on PlayStation and Xbox. Like, I picked up a copy of Bayonetta, but I haven't for PC, but I haven't actually played it much. I like downloaded it, made sure it worked, and then was like, I don't feel like playing Bayonetta. I've done it like, I've beaten the game like 5 times. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't know. What do you think about Extella Link? I don't know if you played any of the Extella games. The main Extella was pretty good. The main Extella was pretty good. I hear Link is slightly worse in terms of story, but still but a bit better in terms of gameplay, because like Extella is pretty samey once you've played like 5 or 6 levels. Like, to the point where, like, you could beat any level with any level character. It's just a matter of getting bored. Doing 300 Extella maneuvers to kill someone. That's saved properly, right? Wait, what time is it actually? Oh shit, it's late. Kiara? I don't think Kiara Sesuin shows up in Extella. She shows up in CCC, right? Unless she shows up in Link, I don't think she's in this. I'm actually gonna have to head to bed right now because I did not realize what time it is. I have to get up in like 5 hours. No, we're not doing plot stuff. Alright. Yeah, I think she's a bad guy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually call it. Thanks for hanging out, my man. It's actually like 2 in the morning right now for me. And I have to get up in, like I said, 5-ish hours. Yeah, I don't think Kiara shows up in that. We can check right now. We can check if she shows up. I'll do that before I go to sleep. Let's see. Can I bring up anything that's not Steam Big Picture mode? That would be nice. Hopefully this... Okay, Steam won't let me exit while games are running. Yakuza's still running in the background. We'll kill Yakuza. Yeah, I don't think Kiara shows up in Extella Link. But we'll have like Nero, Tamamo, a few others show up. Anyway, I don't have anything. It won't actually let me exit Big Picture. It's really irritating. There we go. Here, we'll look it up on Wikipedia real quick. Fate/Extella Link. And we're gonna play Link, not the first Extella, because I've already beaten Extella. Let's see. Returning servants. Who shows up? Claudius. Yeah, I'll play CCC when and if it comes out. Unfortunately, there's no fan translation for CCC, so I can't like play it on stream or anything. Because obviously I can't read Japanese, and definitely not well enough. Definitely can't understand it, even understand it enough to play a full visual novel in it. Yeah, who shows up in this? Nero. Nameless is Archer, so that's Emiya. Gwen, Ko, Li Shuen, Tomo, Karna, Elizabeth, Lubu, Medusa, Altera, Gil, Jean, Iskandar, Artoria, Archimedes, Charlemagne, Francis Drake, Astolfo, Skaha, Robin Hood, Arjuna, Darius, Gil de Rey. Oh, it's Caster Gil. Interesting. Berserker lot. All the close. And another version of Altera. Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't look like Kiara shows up. She's only in CCC. One day we'll get a CCC translation, and I promise we'll play it. In fact, we'll probably play it once for every route. Katawa Shoujo was pretty good. I like Katawa Shoujo. I only played through it once because I didn't really feel like there was a huge amount of value in playing through it to get a different girl as the ending because the plot was the same. But playing through it once was very good. I like the purple-haired chick and the chick with like the drill bits for hair, but she wasn't a waifuable character in that game, at least. Don't remember the people I liked. Yeah, I'm kind of interested what kind of characterization they'll give Skaha, because I feel like she's really, really bland in Grand Order. But I like her design, like everyone else likes her design too. But I'm kind of interested to see how this works out. What does Charlemagne look like? Is that what he looks like? He looks like a player character. What the hell? I don't remember. I can't remember the names of any of the characters. Giant Bomb. Ew, I haven't been to this site in ages. Can you give me something that... we'll just... Oh, blind chick. Yeah. No, she's the deaf one. Oh, Shizune. Really? Not my first pick, but I understand. I think they were all pretty solid. Which one was blind? Lily's blind. Okay. I get Astolfo, right? We get best girl, finally. It's a crime that he wasn't in the original. I believe you can also play as Astolfo too, because you can play as every servant in this Extella. So I'm definitely gonna go for that. Give Astolfo a run as long as he doesn't play super awkwardly. Like, I really like Gilgamesh, but in Extella, his moveset was absurdly slow. Like, it was super awkward. There was only a couple characters I didn't like playing as in Extella, and it was unfortunately Gilgamesh and Karna. Karna's combos were really awkward, because it's like a Dynasty Warrior style game, right? And Karna, his combos would sometimes not hit directly in front of him, so regular enemies would occasionally, because his cone attack is so narrow for his regular, like his spear attacks, enemies that were like beside you at a slight angle would still be able to hit you unmolested. So you'd be fighting regular enemies and taking damage. And then one of his combos, he like throws his spear, which leaves you vulnerable for a long amount of time. And it doesn't hit enemies directly in front of you. And it doesn't lock on to anything you're locked onto. So it's just like absurdly hard to aim, does little damage, and half the time you use it on accident, you're just taking damage for yourself. It was very frustrating. They were the two servants I didn't actually like playing. Yeah, Herc would be insane. Anyone with like cleave attacks who has decent speed is insanely good in a Dynasty Warriors style brawler. It's like, these are all the servants you could run. Nero played very well. Altera, who for some reason isn't listed here. Oh, there she is. Okay. Altera plays insanely smoothly. Like, good sword cleave. Ku is a little bit awkward because he has he's like a narrow cones for all his attacks, but he's still workable. Whatever. Medusa's alright. Jean's fine. Iskandar has a little bit narrow range because he's using his sword for a lot of his attacks. Artoria's fine. Yeah, all the sabers are good. I don't remember. Oh, Tamamo plays okay. She has like some weird moves, but they're all pretty good. Nameless is fine. He attacks really fast. Because Emiya, of course, uses Kansho and Bakuya for the most part, with his arrows only being used for some of his specials, and they can also be like really effective. Because unlike Karna's spear throw, you can like some of his arrows. He does like the Emiya's Buster attack in Grand Order, where he leaps up and shoots the arrow at an angle down. He has that in Grand Order. Like, they steal a ton of the moves from Extella, or I think it's from Extella, because the updated animations include references to Extella. Like the eye beam attack is from Extella as well. Like half of Karna's new animations are from Extella. Yeah, but yeah, Nameless's arrow shot, it's insanely good. The ground targeted one is like the one he uses in Grand Order for his Buster, where he leaps up. There's actually a few attacks that you see in Extella. Elizabeth Bathory also has a few attacks that she has in Grand Order, like the exact same animation, basically just turned into a 2D sprite. It's kind of handy. Altera's Noble Phantasm is very different in Extella. She actually orders an orbital strike to fire from Mars instead of charging people with their NP. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Gilgamesh in his attack animation, he only uses the Gate of Babylon as his the last attack in a chain, the heavy attack. Otherwise, he's like swinging a sword around, and it's super slow and awkward. But he also hits like a train when he fires off his combos. Lubu's also slow. Lubu's actually really slow for Berserker, so yeah, I gotta get going. Alright. Thanks for hanging out, man. It's been fun talking to you. I probably won't see you tomorrow because I'm not gonna, or Thursday because I'm not gonna be streaming. But I'll probably see you Friday or whenever I see you again. Have a great evening.